Welcome to this Fixit channel, and this is a video that will give you a little pointers, a few tips and tricks for ransomware, how to avoid them, and what to do if you ever get in contact with ransomware, and even worse, the ones that encrypt all of your files. So first of all, when we talk of ransomware, I gotta say one thing. People always ask me what's the best antivirus, what antivirus should I use to make sure I don't have ransomware. That is not really a question you should ask, because antivirus software is technically not very good at detecting a lot of the different viruses out there. And whatever antivirus you use is probably fine. It's much more what you do with your computer and how you deal with your own security. Because your brain and yourself is the number one antivirus. You know what you do and you know what you should not do. And almost every time somebody had ransomware, they always tell me, well, I knew it looked weird, but I clicked anyway. Follow your instincts. Very important. That's the first thing. First rule. Most ransomware that I've come across came through email attachments. Personally, I think email attachments should be banned. It's way too dangerous, and if not, be very careful what you open in an attachment. Look at it carefully. Is it an intended, attachment that the person wanted to send you? Even worse, are you opening an attachment from somebody you don't even know? You got to be careful with that. You can get ransomware, of course, by going to sites that you should maybe not be going to, or download illegal stuff, games, movies, TV shows. You can also have it by trying to crack pieces of software. These are all things that you make your own risk here. You take the risk of getting infected. And most of the time, when you do that, your antivirus is not going to stop you. So, rule number one is you have to be careful with what you do. Rule number two, make sure that your computer is up to date. Just like at the latest Windows update, the Patch Tuesday that we just had a few days ago. Patch Tuesday fixed a flaw in Flash Player. And that flaw was actually being used, it was actually being exploited by ransomware. That means you could go to a website that looks normal, but it has inside it ransomware in a script that goes through Flash and that infects your machine without you doing absolutely nothing. So, having your computer updated, all of its software updated, best way to stay secure. Now, there are different types of ransomware. You have the ones like this one that says, hey, your personal files have been encrypted, and here's the time left before we throw away the key and it's over. You'll have something that might look more like a background in your computer desktop that says, hey, all the important files on your disk are encrypted now. And usually you see it because your files change. The look changed. The icon isn't look like it is usually. So if you have, pictures, the icon now is a weird icon, or instead of, Word documents, they are drab icons that don't mean anything and that your computer cannot open. Another type of ransomware that you can have is also the ones that say, hey, your computer's locked. This is the CIA, the FBI, the local police, the Interpol, or whatever. And it will try to lure you into giving out money so that your computer can be unlocked. And they say, hey, don't do it again because you're a bad guy. These are all fake. I can bet you that if you do something bad and the cops are searching for you, they're not going to do it over the internet. They're going to get to your home and they're going to be outside waiting. Now, you've got one of those. We are now step number 2. You got one of those. What do you do? The best thing that you can do for something that doesn't encrypt your files, like the Department of Justice or FBI or CIA, stuff like that, what you could do is use your Windows disk if you have one. If you have Windows 7, use a Windows 7 disk. You can create or have a friend of yours create a bootable USB thumb drive also. And in the with Windows 8, Windows 10 also it works. There's the recovery option in there. And the recovery option, you have the system restore possibility. Now, some of these guys are intelligent enough to erase the restore points, but you can still try it. And you know what? Go to the day just before the problem happened, and I can bet you that you are probably, if it worked, if you were able to restore, you're going to be back to normal. Just scan your computer with a piece of software like Malwarebytes, anti-malware, or your antivirus. Make sure that it's not on your computer anymore and have it removed. Now, suppose that what you've got is ransomware that encrypts your files. So, you got to get a way to remove it. So basically try to, use system restore. If you can't, you can maybe try to, go into safe mode or something like that to try to get some kind of access to your computer. You might need a tech guide to do it. Unfortunately, some of them are very tricky. But, check it out. In the case of some of the ransomware that encrypts your files, you sometimes or often still have control of your computer. You can, try to scan it with your antivirus or do things like that. Once you got it removed and your files are encrypted, what can you do about it? Well, this will depend a lot on the type of ransomware that you've got. Because here's the thing. There's different types of ransomware that encrypt files. There's the ones that use old encryption methods that now have been found out, and these usually you have tools. Now I'm going to show you a few pages that you can go to. First one is Malwarebytes. Download Malwarebytes anti-ransomware software. Another one you can try is Bitdefender Labs crypto ransomware vaccine. Another one that you can try, Trend Micro anti-ransomware tool. These are 3 tools that can help you decrypt the files that were encrypted, as long as they were encrypted with the older ransomware types. Now, if you've been victim of a ransomware that encrypted your files, that's where in the prevention, backing up your files regularly is important. Because I can tell you one thing, the latest encryption from these ransomware, don't think that you will find a way to decrypt them. It is impossible. Without the knowledge of the key, the decryption key, you cannot decrypt them. Don't think you can. You cannot. Nobody can. Except the bad guys. Then you don't want to pay the bad guys. So that's why you should have a backup of some sort of all of your files, their important files, regularly. Cloud backup, hard drive, external hard drive backing up. In Windows 10, since Windows 7, you've got backup tools in Windows that you can use to back up your system. I would recommend not leaving the hard drive plugged in all the time, because ransomware that encrypts can encrypt the files on external hard drives also. So what you could do is, plug it in, do your backup. Once it's over, unplug until the next backup. And if you get some kind of encryption ransomware, Well, you know what? All you have to do is just get your computer cleaned out. In the worst case scenario, you just reformat everything, reinstall your programs, and you've got your backup files. So it's not a problem, and you can actually continue working. But what if you're the last resort? Impossible to use one of these tools. Malwarebytes anti-ransomware, Bitdefender Labs crypto ransomware vaccine, and Trend Micro's anti-ransomware tools. And your files are encrypted. You got no backup. What is left to do? Well, now you got to sit down and think, how much is what you lost worth? And the thing is, if it's really important, then you might have to follow the instructions from the bad guys. Pay the ransom, very often several $100s, to get the decryption key to be able to get your files back. That's the last resort, the one you don't want to get to, and the reason that you can avoid this is simply by using your mind, being careful what you do, not clicking everything you see, and of course having a backup of your important files. Unfortunately, people are extremely lazy in backing up files, and there's no reason for that. So these are little tips and tricks, and I hope it didn't happen to you. If it did or not, I hope at least this video helps you in kind of understanding a little more how to stay safe and what to do in case of some that you've got, ransomware on your computer. Maybe you have your own tips and tricks. Why not leave them in the description and the comments below the video. Thank you for watching. If you enjoy my videos, please subscribe, give us thumbs up, and hopefully you enjoy our videos and will continue following us on this Fixit channel.